All right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Survivor with Jay, Jack, and Colleen. My name is Jay.
My name is Holy Crap.
And I'm Jeremy's death stare.
Oh my God, Jeremy's stare down was incredible. And you could tell he was like, he was dying to get out of him because he kept glancing at Ben. It was like a hidden immunity idol and want to play it. He just kept glancing at Ben. And I was like, don't give it away, Jeremy. Poker face, poker face. If Tony has this, you have this. And then once the votes started being read, that look of death, I was like, this episode has everything, and I'm exhausted because I'm already exhausted from 2020, and this episode has me exhausted. At one point I was like, Jay, feel my pulse, my heart is racing, I don't understand.
Yeah, wow, what a 4-3-2, the mythical 4-3-2 vote.
Just the whole, like, oh my God, like the fact that we saw this episode that started off with like Tony being Tony, and you were like, okay, here's where it ends for Tony, like,
right?
The Tony boot episode, and he manages to pull it, like, we hear about how his social game is crap from Sarah, and then not only does he prove everybody wrong by playing such a social game that he manages to get people from both sides of the aisle to give him tokens.
Yep.
And then he goes on to an individual immunity, which I definitely did not have on
his
my
first two are the
bingo
past
card
two
for
in a
this
row,
year.
yeah.
And oh my God. And then we had the thing before the commercial, so now we've got to get Jeremy. And I think it was, I forget who it was on Twitter, and I'm so sorry because I responded to them as well, where it was like, I think it might have been Redmond and maybe Lita. I don't even remember because everything is a blur right now. But they were like, oh, we don't want to lose Jeremy. And I was like, well, Tony said it as the last thing before the last confessional before the commercial. So, take it with a grain of salt. That's probably not what's going to happen. It's probably just going to blow up spectacularly in Tony's face because, that's what happens. And it didn't. It didn't. And
So clearly Colleen had the boot list when she picked Tony in Final 3, and it's just, I can't podcast with you anymore.
Right now, Tony
I don't think Tony's going to the Final 3. I think that they will be able to successfully target him.
I don't know. I think Tony can win this game.
He took the best player out of the game.
But he managed to do it by controlling himself to be like, okay, I've got to wait until the very end. I cannot let anyone know about this until the very last minute. He was given a death sentence when Poverty and Natalie sent him that extortion thing.
Yeah,
and like you said, I think it was you, Colleen. He was able to get tokens from people on both sides.
Yeah.
Why would you give Tony tokens? I'd be like, I like Michelle. I thought Michelle did. Well, she didn't have any tokens, but I thought her answer. Her
answer was good.
I thought her answer was good, pretty clever. But Jeremy, sure, I'll give you a token. Yeah.
Well, I know,
I was like, Jeremy, what are you doing? You can't trust. I thought Kim was the smart one. It's like, yeah, I'm not buying this Tony play. Which
I could see Nick and Ben.
I could see.
But Jeremy, I expected more from. But Jeremy wants to believe, and Tony did save him. So
clearly there was a trust there that we just didn't see on camera, and it could be something that's outside of the game. But clearly there was a trust there that proved out to be true.
A trust between
Tony and Jeremy. Because Jeremy trusted him, and the whole time I was saying, "What are you doing?" Until the very end, I was like, "Okay, this is your only play to say."
Well, I think
Kim
Tony
and
knew,
Denise
but
have
I think Tony just knew, all right, Jeremy really trusts me, so if there was going to be a point where I was going to take control of the game and take out the biggest threat to win, who doesn't seem like the biggest threat, because don't forget, Tony likes to keep the meat chills in front of him. Mm-hmm. So I think that...
we had to take a quick break because Colleen can't control herself, but don't describe it again, please.
No. I plan on eating again someday, so...
Oh my God, you guys. You wipe butts every day of your children and grandchildren. You can't handle a little blood.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Whew, I don't know where I was, but this episode has got me in a state, boys and girls.
But no, if Colleen's picked, I mean, obviously Colleen had the list ahead of time.
Well, Colleen definitely had some picks.
But
I told you.
You got to give Tony credit because he...
Yeah.
And again, there's just something that I got to give him credit for because he even said it in the beginning of this episode. Okay, I didn't go running off rails, but now like I've got the trust of everyone, and this is my chance to do it.
And Nick got his trust that morning, and he used it later on.
Yeah.
Well, again, I've been saying to win this game with all these players, you have to change your game, and the players that didn't change their game are out.
Yeah,
and Tony has, we see, each week he seems to get a little more Tony-ish.
Well, he's still Tony. He's still Tony,
yeah, but he's changed his game.
Yeah,
and that's why he's still in the game.
Yeah, 100%. And again, I thought Tony was like, Tony, Rob, and Sandra. They're out, 1, 2, 3, and all three of them honestly played a really. I mean, Sandra kind of blew it, but she made a play, and you can't fault somebody for making a play. And then Boston Rob, his team kept losing, and eventually was going to come back to bite him. But Tony, who didn't have to go to tribal as much, has managed to change his game and wait till now, and he's got an idol. He won 2 immunity challenges in a row, and he effectively played the the extortion thing, and got the 4-3-2 vote. Damn, talk about resume.
Honestly, I love that they picked Tony because they know he's the one that is the most chaotic player.
I love the editing where they're talking about it, and then it's just a shot of Tony on the beach.
Well, as they were doing it, Jay and I looked at each other and were like, "Oh, they're gonna give it to Tony," and then we had the shot of Tony, and we were like, "Oh my god, this episode!"
Yeah,
is so peak 2020.
I figured it had to be Tony. Also, I said, I just said, but you got to give him credit. I mean, he's changed it. And again, here's someone but you can't trust him. But Jared, like we were saying earlier before Colleen had her thing.
She picked a scab, by the way. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't cut myself open like Charlotte Hale style on Westworld.
Okay. Anyway,
I scratched a scab because I was itchy.
All right, moving on.
Sorry.
Anyway, oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
You're saying Jeremy trusts the trust that Jeremy
the trust, because I was going, God, Jeremy, come on. But I think when Tony came to him, I said, because I was watching with your mom, I said, it's his only move.
Yeah.
It's his only move because he doesn't have, he thinks he had, I go, he's going to go with Tony because it's his only move.
Yeah.
Well, I think it might have been a shock to him that Kim and Denise flipped. But again, when you look at Denise and Kim, that's their only play.
Right.
And Jeremy's smart enough to know that.
Well, Jeremy was smart. Again, I guess apparently it was all coming after Jeremy that we didn't really feel last time because we thought that was kind of a bad play for Jeremy. But no, that was a smart move because they were all coming for him. I know. I agreed with him last week. I said he didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
He would have been sitting there in Tyson's spot.
Yep.
I think it was Colin Stone, which I also think I quoted him last week too on Twitter, who said, "Well, if you pay 6 tokens to get rid of advantage, you might as well make the most of it."
Now Natalie and Poverty should have quite a few tokens, right?
Well, they got 3 each now. Well, no. That's right, because they've both found other things. Yeah.
But Poverty had found some last week, right?
And Natalie, we know, found a bunch in the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens when they eventually come back.
I just did a refresh of Twitter. Tony had 18 confessionals tonight, an all-time record, including 4 finales.
Wow.
Wow. Well, there was a lot of Tony because again we're getting less and less Denise.
It's mainly Jeremy, Michelle, Tony,
and Kim, which is interesting that we're getting more confessionals from the people that other than Tony that are in the Minority Alliance.
Well, it's obviously been blown up. That 5 has been blown up, I would think, right? Now again, Tony made that move smartly to break up Sarah and Sophie because they were too close, and Sarah's supposed to be his partner. Again, based on the previews, Sarah's pissed, but again, you can't be mad at Tony because Sarah was obviously closer to Sophie. Yeah. So we'll see if that relationship's still intact. But yeah, I'll be very curious to see how that all plays out in the end.
Well, Sarah can't be too angry because right now she's on the bottom now.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's tied 4-4.
Yeah, but she's a target. You know what I mean? I would take her out.
because Denise and Kim were kind of flippers anyway. So you could very easily see Denise and Kim then go to this new thing and then just take out Ben and Sarah. Easy.
Yeah, because Sarah thought she was safe, and now that's why she's upset, because her game is like Jay said, it was been blown up because.
Well, I also think that Sarah's upset because she probably thought that she had a great resume and.
It got blown up.
It just got blown up.
Yeah.
Because what Tony pulled off tonight, the way that if it went down the way that the editing showed it, that Tony was able to successfully get 3 extra fire tokens, win immunity to pay them back, and then convince a group of people that he was actually on their side, and then at the very last minute.
Pull a 4-3-2.
Like,
well, he was smart to wait till the end too.
Exactly, which we think when we think of Tony, we think about how funny and chaotic his game is, and we think about how he's very entertaining to watch.
Yep.
But we don't really, and he has spy shacks, which I guess next week we have a spy
nest.
Spy nest.
So,
but remember, he was able to convince. It was Wu, right? That he was able to convince Wu to take him to the the finals where he won $1 million. And as we've heard from Ben, $1 million doesn't go very far.
It goes quick.
Oh my God, that was also so funny.
I said, God, that was not a good line.
It's like, that was once I was done with my student loans. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I said, okay, sorry.
I mean, even after taxes, you're looking at $600,000. So
thank you, Jeff Dent.
I'm sorry, Ben, you had $1 million and now you don't have it. So.
It's a line my grandpa said that I use it all the time for young people. If you can make $1 million a year, but if you spend $1 million in one, you're still broke.
Yep.
But
anyway,
That being said, I think I wonder if things kind of realign now after this, because it's been broken up a little bit. Now will the lines kind of be brought back together, or are Ben and Sophie toast? And I'm sorry, Ben and Sarah toast. And I really think, based upon, if I'm going by Colleen's Edgit approach,
which I barely do, please let's not.
It's Colleen's thing. She wrote a book about it. You should check it out on Amazon.com, janejack.com/Amazon. Colleen discusses Edgit. But we've really and that's what I was kind of saying when I was like, well, maybe it is Sophie, because we've gone silent on her story. She really hasn't had much for a while, and she's like arguably the best player.
She's been playing well under the radar.
Yeah, so I'm like, she's number one in my opinion. And I think Sarah was playing a really good social game, so kudos to her. But I kind of love Tony's play here, because she was giving crap to Tony, but Tony actually had the better gameplay. He got an idol, pulled a 4-3-2, managed to... he did so much in this episode, has the record for most confessionals, and he wasn't getting voted out. So,
plus he got Nick to go... Plus, he got Nick to go look for an idol where he already looked.
Yeah, right? Well, he also got Nick to, turn to socialism and... just kidding.
But I just think that
to donate his tokens,
his play
fit.
was up there in some of the great, probably I would argue greatest 1 or 3 day span, 1 episode performance we've seen.
Oh yeah,
it's a top 3, right? Like all the things he accomplished in 1 day, or now, it's not 1 day. I'm sorry, 1 episode, so 3 days was incredible.
He borrowed 3 tokens. He won 2. Who did he give them back to?
We don't know. I would assume Jeremy if he got that trust back.
Yeah.
And probably Nick, right?
Yeah. And then Ben, I owe you one. And be like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I do like how I like how Ben got so upset with Jeremy when Jeremy said, Ben, you're a threat.
Well, yeah, I know, right? Jeremy is the new Adam.
But I agreed with Ben. I'm like going, come on, dude, really? You're a bigger threat than I am.
Well, yeah, Jeremy's the only player to win unanimously. Well, has there been a unanimous win before him? He was the first.
No, he was the first unanimous win.
He was the first unanimous win.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been one since.
Yeah, I know we're so lazy that we're not going to look it up. But
well, just read Colleen's book, janejack.com/Amazon.
All lowercase letters.
Edgit and unanimous winners on Survivor. It's also on Audible.com, which we don't have a sponsorship with. But anyway,
that's where I get my news from.
Anyway,
that was a commercial.
Oh,
oh man,
I get my news from Audible.
Is that what the commercial is?
it said that it was about it was news. It was about reading books and all that stuff.
Oh my God. I filled out for Spreaker, which is what we're hosted on, their advertisement survey this week, which they send periodically. I think every quarter probably. And I felt like, such an old lady, because it was do you want ads about alcohol? Do you want ads about cannabis? Do you want ads about left politicians, right politicians? Do you want ads about dating apps? Do you want ads about
all right, we'll get to the
tobacco? Do you want ads? So the only thing that I said yes to was dating apps. I said no to everything else.
Wait, you said yes to dating apps?
Well, they felt the safest.
Well, this is a reveal. I'm glad you're ready to play the field. No wonder I'm leaving this podcast.
Colleen, can I just say right now is not the time to play the field because you're not allowed out of the house.
That's true. Social distancing, dating apps.
I'm just trying to point that out.
Oh my God, sure Love is Blind was so ahead of its time.
I'm not trying to change the subject.
Oh my God, it really was ahead of its time. That show is trash. Don't watch it, guys, but it's oddly addicting. But it's trash. Anyway. Whew, okay.
I hope you find somebody else that'll handle podcasting with you.
This episode, well, you know what? Is it bad to hope that we all take a season off from New Survivor in the fall, so that way, because
I don't think there's going to be a Survivor in the fall.
Right. Well, yeah. Hear me out, guys, because Jay might be ready to come back in.
I'm retiring.
No. You said
You're
last
already getting
week.
dating apps to find a replacement. I'm done.
Hey. Rob Gronkowski retired, then came back. So
that's true. That's true. I'm not doing the show in Tampa Bay. I'm just going to let everyone know that right now. No thanks.
Even you wouldn't do it with Tom Brady?
No, I'm not a Tom Brady fan. I don't like him. No offense to the Patriots fans out there.
Oh, you just ticked off how many Patriots fans out there.
But one of my good buddies, John, who's from Boston, diehard Boston sports fan, quit being a Patriots fan because he hates Tom Brady, and now that Tom Brady's gone, he's going to be a Patriots fan again.
He's not a diehard fan.
He is.
No, by definition, by the definition,
and goes to a game at Fenway every year. He's diehard.
Look, diehard fans were teams.
Wait,
that win
I'm
all the
sorry.
time.
The Patriots play at Fenway?
No, I'm saying he's a diehard Boston sports fan.
Okay.
But he's not a diehard. He's not a diehard Patriots fan anymore.
I don't know football, but I know that's a baseball stadium.
Yeah, Tom Brady was great at throwing at the Green Monster.
Yeah. I mean, Colleen, I know you don't agree with commitment and your marital bonds, but
I love them.
Not.
They're my favorite. By the time you guys hear our next Wednesday is the 29th. Next Wednesday is our anniversary. Oh my God, I can't wait.
If we make it that far.
If we make it to our 9th wedding anniversary. I can't wait to record a podcast with you on our 9th wedding anniversary.
Can't believe you
so
turned down
romantic.
Cannabis apps, all these other things, and then no
alcohol.
Dating. Yeah,
well,
alcohol.
the thing is,
alcohol. Come on.
I know I love alcohol, but the thing is, if it was specific,
you can't spell alcohol without Colleen.
I know. Colleen. It's in there.
Speaking of emails.
No, because the thing is, it was network based. So, if I could take a advertisement.
All right, we're moving on from this because we've got to finish up our Survivor discussion.
I was just saying, if I could take an advertisement per show, then yeah, the Survivor show would probably not get any. It would just get the dating stuff. But the broadcast and the Married Man show, they could get the alcohol and the cannabis. But it was network wide. So
it's irrelevant. All right, final thoughts on this episode before we get the listener feedback. I thought Tony, all-star, legendary, Hall of Fame performance. Tony, if you're listening, probably not, but if you are, kudos, sir.
His amazing performance tonight by Tony.
It was an amazing performance. It was the equivalent of Denise taking out Sandra, except
way better.
But no, because that wasn't a Denise show, which means Tony's either gonna crash and burn next week, or he's going to the end.
Yeah.
Because I can't see another.
As good as Denise's move was, this was the best move of the season.
Oh yeah.
Because
many things.
And rest in peace, because I love Sophie so much, and when she said in her outgoing interview that she always felt she was a bottom tier player, I wanted to hug her because she's so smart. She's not a bottom tier player.
She kicked ass this season. Sophie, you kicked ass. You were the best player until this episode. Hands down.
I thought for sure. I thought she was going to win it, but she got Tony took out the favorite to win it.
She wasn't your winner's pick, right?
No.
Okay, good.
Why?
You know
who's more winner's pick?
You know whose winner's pick she was?
Mine.
Oh,
yours.
So
do I still have Tony? I can't even remember anymore. No, I have Denise.
No, you have Denise. So I'm going to switch to Tony.
My preseason winner's pick was, which I get extra points for or something, is Tony, right?
You didn't say he's going to win. You said he's going to make final 3.
And you got, okay.
And I was going to give you 5 points for getting Tony final 3, which we all thought was the most ludicrous statement ever.
I'm just a big Tony fan.
I gave you 5 points
because... He's my people. He's ridiculous, and my people are problematic on every level.
Every level.
But I had some faith.
Especially with fidelity, because you go around with your... Manstresses. You're a mob boss.
What are you talking about?
Your dating apps.
My dating apps.
It's on the record. People have heard it now.
Oh my God, I can't wait for you to come back next season when it's a year from now.
Anyways, let's get into some listener feedback. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Listener feedback. All right, it's listener feedback time. Time to hear Colleen somehow plow through some emails. Colleen, take it away.
Woohoo! All right, our first email is from last week. Is in response to our last week's episode. It's from Maggie.
You're reading an email from last week?
Yeah, it's from Maggie. She sent it last Thursday.
Maggie the Magnificent.
Yeah, where's Mandy? What up, girl? Anyway, Maggie says, hi, Colleen, Jay, and Jack. Ah, the correct order. I can't watch Survivor Live. You are. I can't watch Survivor live, so I can't write in about Survivor while you're recording. I am loving this season, though.
Wait, hold on, Maggie. This is not Russia. You can watch it live.
No, she might be working or something.
Yeah, maybe she has like a thing she has to do.
I'm sorry. She says I can't, but this is not Russia.
Oh God, so that old joke. Oh,
it's true.
It's a Jack 2005. Didn't you guys also have like a versus based on like? Oh, American Pie, Apple Pie, Jay.
Oh, yeah, Most American Thing or something. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a versus we did back in the day.
That was. I remember exactly where I was listening to it.
It's from Caddyshack. So,
anyway, let us finish because you have another podcast, and you know something.
I know. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to fill out my dating app because the commercial enticed me to do it.
None of the other ones, but tell me about them dating apps, though.
Yeah. Pick a survivor. Nick or Jeremy.
Keep my options open.
You never know.
All right, I'm loving this season. The first season I've watched in
dating apps and life insurance.
In almost 9 years. Life insurance. Oh, my God. No, do you know how much money life insurance companies would have to pay out right now? They're not advertising for anything.
There's a joke how you're going to kill me and find a new spouse. Anyways, move on.
Does this email have an ending?
No,
it
it's
does.
Colleen reading an email.
I can talk about West Wing, though. Yes, the character of Mandy is awful. It's the one bad thing about the first season, because we talked about that last week.
We did, yeah.
And yes, the show is a different show once Rob Lowe and Aaron Sorkin left. I did rewatch it all with the West Wing Weekly podcast, and spoiler alert, Rob Lowe is not totally gone from the West Wing. He comes back in season 7, something to look forward to. Back to Patronland, where I am still waiting for the Jay and Jack West Wing podcast. Thanks. Bye-bye, Maggie.
All right, thank you, Maggie.
Oh, my God, that's right, because Jack, you and Boston and Amanda were supposed to do that West Wing podcast for the patrons.
I gave up on those two. I'm sorry, I hate to throw people under the bus, but I gave up on those two.
But you know something? Now we're in quarantine world, and everybody's got nothing better to do.
But I gotta back up Jack on this one. Jack's always game for anything ever to record a show. And Boston and Amanda are their schedules are always full.
Yes, so one of them has 2 children. The other one has a job where she works 15-hour days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I'm throwing them under the bus, but they had legitimate reasons.
Yeah, exactly. They have lives. Don't get me wrong.
I was sitting here going, yeah, whenever you guys want to do it. But then finally I said,
I'm defending Jack here. Don't blame Jack. That's all I'm saying.
Nobody's blaming Jack.
Because I'm currently doing a semi rewatch because your mom skips ahead without me.
Oh, I might do a rewatch.
Can I just say that there are moments where I'm rewatching something and then Colleen like jumps in and then now I feel like I can't keep rewatching it, so I've been rewatching Community because it's on Netflix.
I'm fine with it though.
And Colleen like jumped in and I'm like, oh well, now I can't just keep binging.
No, you can.
So.
That's fine. I mean, you're doing Clone Wars anyway without me, half of it. I watch Clone Wars when I'm here and you're playing it. You don't worry about me.
All right, next email.
Yeah, okay, that's there we go. Okay, that just proves that. Let
me just put on my dating app. My biggest turnoffs on my dating app. I just put on there people that take forever to read emails.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Well. All right. Our final email.
I mean, are you a Plenty of Fish person or like what's your preferred?
Coffee meets bagel.
It worked for Dale.
It did work.
We're the reason Dale got married.
Yeah.
It works. Coffee meets bagel, right?
No,
it's Plenty of Fish.
Plenty of Fish.
No. But the one that I like is Coffee Meets Bagel because.
Oh, you have one that you like?
I do because. Because I have two people that work in my office that both do online dating.
That's Nick's.
Yeah.
I know, but
Coffee
Meets Bagel, I think, is the one where the woman has to
she knows that's Nick's.
Okay, look, we got 12 minutes left.
I'm just saying, this is a very revealing
This is
podcast.
from Victoria.
Victoria. She didn't. She wasn't. She didn't write us last week, did she?
No.
But she did this week, and she says, "Hi guys, I only have about 5 minutes to write this because I have been super busy since the shutdown. So keep it short and simple." Oh, I'm sorry about that. But I guess I'm also not sorry.
Don't worry, Colleen can make it last
you're
an
essential.
hour.
Anyway, I miss you guys, and we miss you too. And wow, Tony, you might be the greatest of all time status at this point.
GOAT.
Yeah.
GOAT. Not the kind that's dragged with you.
Okay, if he wins and has 2 titles, is he the greatest of all time?
He's greatest of all time. If he wins, greatest of all time. Because even without the awesome gameplay that he's had so far, especially this episode.
It's the fact that he's such a freaking crazy person.
Yes!
That he made it twice.
Not something where it just fell to him.
No, exactly. Sandra's still the greatest of all time.
He changed his style of play.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the key to winning this. And if he wins, he's tops.
I still think it's a slim chance in hell he's there. But
yeah,
if he's
definitely
there,
not going to win.
If he somehow ends up being their final 3, I don't see how you say he's not the best player in this season.
Right? Unless he does like whispering in people's ears. But now he has Jeremy. Like if he and Jeremy actually stick together, I don't know.
I don't see how they do. But his play is the meat shield thing. That's he invented it, right? Or at least gave it words.
No. Yeah, Tony created the meat shield concept, right?
And can we just say, I don't think Ben's having trouble sleeping because of the bamboo. I think he's having trouble sleeping because Jeremy's staring at him the whole time.
Oh my god! Yeah.
You're not Jack's doing it right now. This is an audio form, but Jack's doing his best Jeremy because. Damn, so much heat coming from Jeremy.
Because Ben's over there like, my cowboy hat's not big enough. I still see him staring at me.
He was like, my cowboy hat's so big enough I can't stop seeing the shade.
Wow.
It was just all around, just like...
His look was like, F you, I'm not going home tonight. I'm not going home tonight.
Yeah, I want to watch it again after we're done recording because I just want to see that look again.
It's kind of how whenever I kind of need a pick me up, I watch the Wentworth did not count vote.
This was better than Wentworth
did
not count.
No, it wasn't better.
This
than
was
Wentworth.
better.
It wasn't. It wasn't
because if it would have backfired, he would have looked like an idiot.
No, yeah, but no, it wasn't
Wentworth,
better.
all she had to do is just play an idol, but this is a 4-3-2 by Tony
Flacco. By Tony. You're right.
Tony Flacco pulled a 4-3-2.
The Wentworth did not count vote was
in
so
an all-winner
perfect.
season. This isn't a Rob.
And Wentworth has never won, so...
come on.
But the best part about that is Abby Marie at the end going, "You made it to the jury."
Doesn't matter. Again, I love that. I love that tribal.
No, that's my favorite.
But this
tribal
one beats
ever.
it.
I love that tribal more than any other. Tribal.
I get it. But this one
second.
beats it. Objectively, this one.
But
beats
I also
it.
love Sophie. I didn't love Savage, so
Yeah, that's true. All right, so
I hate to lose Sophie. All right. Anyway, fine. Last sentence. I'll be fine with him.
Left?
I'll be fine with him winning. He has literally played every person on this season for his own advantages. I'm ready to see the Sarah Tony showdown that they keep setting up.
Whew.
Dude, if there's a Sarah Tony showdown and Tony takes out Sarah for the second time,
Woo!
I'm here for it. Like, let's go. Let's do this. Can we just go to the vote right now next week? I don't need to see the play. I just want to see it happen.
Not wrong.
I can see it happening because he's got that idol.
Yeah.
And right now he's acing the challenges.
He's got and even if he doesn't get individual immunity, like he can convince a group of people like, hey, Sarah's really good. Like Sarah's playing a great game. She's second best after, to Sophie. Like they were like co-queens at this point.
To me, like if I was Jeremy, I would definitely take out Sarah before I would take out Tony.
Did Jeremy throw the challenge at the end?
No, I don't think so.
For favor to Tony because
he wanted his token back. No, I don't
because
think so.
I know I can get two, but I want my goddamn token back.
But no, because he
token immunity. Token I have to give away if I lose. If you get voted out.
Jeremy wasn't even moving, and he just after Ben went down, he just like fell down.
All it takes is one drip of sweat to hit you the wrong way.
Okay, I'm just throwing it out there for argument's sake.
I agree with you, Jack, that if he had won, the game would be completely different and Tony wouldn't have had that option because Jeremy would been fine just being safe and then let the chips fall where they lie. So I do think Jeremy not winning was the best thing for Jeremy's game. I agree with you 100%, Jack, but I don't think he did that intentionally. I think it's just that's maybe how it happened.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see how you if you're right there at the end, guaranteeing yourself that you're going to be on there next week. How do you pass it up? And I don't think Jeremy's one to do that.
And not to bring too many parallels into this, but remember when Jeremy played the double idol played the idol for Steven, and it was like, okay, well now Steven owes him for saving him, and there's no way Steven can win. No, nobody knows that Tony effectively saved Jeremy tonight. But does Jeremy now owe Tony that same sense of obligation? Because Jeremy is an honorable person. He's a firefighter. He's an honorable family man. Does he owe him that? Or
no, he's there to win.
I mean, at least it solidified their trust, and Jeremy's trust was rewarded. So I feel like that's where I do think Ben and Sarah are in trouble. Maybe more so Ben because apparently Jeremy wants to murder him. That stare, holy crap.
That stare was amazing. All right, let's tally the votes because Jack has to record podcast in 10 minutes.
Well, they're starting without him, so he can just come in late. But anyway, we'll try not to make him too late. All right, here we go. For our preseason picks, Jack and I get a point because we said Sophie's at least making it the merge. Colleen does not believe that females can go far in the game because she said pre-merge. So.
Oh, my list was wrong!
Well, you know what? It's kind of that thing where people, it's like, when you cheat, you kind of give a wrong answer. So, people don't think you're cheating. Oh, that's right.
To throw out the trail that Colleen has a boot.
Oh, exactly. But am I sophisticated enough to do that?
I would say she isn't, but, you never know.
Did I think that I'm sorry.
Check. Did you put it on your dating app that you know how to cheat?
No.
Well, clearly she does because she needs a dating app.
No, honestly, I think that my thought process was like, okay, if I get this Sophie thing wrong, people won't think that I'm cheating. But, if I get enough things right up until here, I'll be so far ahead in our tally.
But listen, they won't think I'm cheating, but then I admit I go on a dating app.
Yeah, exactly. Now I admit
How
I
did
need
that
the
work
dating
out
apps.
for me? How did that work out for me? This being to pick at this point in time.
And she does go out for really long walks, like 3-hour walks. I'm just saying. The evidence is starting to stack up, Colleen, and I'm sorry.
I am geocaching during those walks.
Is that what they're calling it nowadays? Geocaching?
Geocaching.
It's very fun.
Only ads you want are at dating apps, and you spend 3 hours geocaching. Yeah,
I've taken your son with me.
Maybe you're interesting to his new daddy. I don't know.
You need a lookout, right? Here's Zach. Here's some Legos. Anyway. I got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Okay.
So, Colleen said Jeremy was going home. Jack said Kim. I said Tony. So no points there. Who do we think's going home in week 12?
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Jack is up first.
I'll say Kim.
Interesting.
You got to get. I think Tony's smart enough. He knows he has to get rid of her.
Yes. I agree. That's a smarter move. I'm going to go Ben. Jeremy's vengeance lust wins out. Colleen, You get the last pick here this week.
So we got Kim, Ben, and then, I'll go Sarah. Wishful thinking. Wait, who's my policy to keep voting on until they go out? Right now, who's my new policy person?
You didn't have one. Jeremy was your last pick, but it was not. You had Kim the week before. So.
All right, I'll say Sarah.
All right, Sarah. All right, so the points as they stand now, Colleen's in last place with 6.
Oh, this cheating is not working. It's the slow game. It's the
You're playing the
game.
long con here.
It's a long con where 5 minutes before tribal, I get all the points.
You're playing the James LaFleur, if you will, a.k.a. Sawyer, a.k.a. What was his name again?
James.
Was his last name LaFleur, or did he make that one up?
No, he made that one up.
What was his last name again? I forgot. I'm a horrible
Ford.
boss.
James Ford.
Thank you.
I thought you were joking.
I wasn't. I am in second place with 7 points. I forgot. It's been like 10 years. Jesus. I'm not doing a lost rewatch. Jack is. I'm not on trial here. I'm not on trial.
Oh, my God.
And Jack's in first place with 10 tally points.
Oh, it's like that 28-3 lead joke that's going around about Georgia.
So that's my favorite tweet with Georgia opening up early. So Georgia's opening up early for COVID with a 28-3 lead.
That's your favorite. My favorite tweet / meme. I know this is terrible to joke about.
I don't like get kicked in the nuts, but we just kicked Georgia in the nuts again.
They deserve it for opening all that crap up early. I'm sorry, you're wrong. But good
no,
luck.
My favorite, and we shouldn't joke about it because it's very serious. But if we are going to, my favorite one is the picture of that woman yelling outside of her car.
Oh,
with the
land free.
No, yeah, land free woman with the nurse standing in front of her, and it's ironic that he's wearing scrubs and she's shouting out the passenger side of her best friend's ride, trying to holler.
Anyway, it's a Scrubs reference. Colleen didn't get it. Scrubs song, not the TV show.
I got it. Of course I got it. You think I
No, I didn't
get
think
it?
you got it.
Okay.
I'm saying you didn't tell the story effectively, which
Trying
is no
to
surprise.
holler at me.
You might want to work on that for your dating app.
Scrubs.
You want to be able
So
to...
at this time, we want to thank our patrons.
Especially...
the passenger side of his best friend's ride. You're going to mute me. Okay, stop. I'll stop.
Tack from Tokyo, Eckhart Richter, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with the Plan, Ed the Creepy Mailman.
You just made it louder.
And no, I didn't. I turned you down. I know.
She's still talking.
She's still... Listen, Jack, this is my life.
I know.
This is my quarantine.
I know.
Every couple
She
hours,
decides to date other people when she can't date other people.
Every couple hours I go downstairs and I'm like, are you okay?
You're still muted, Colleen.
That's putting you at risk also. But anyway.
That's putting me at risk.
Really
Anyhow.
Drake
Joanne with the Plan,
Destroyer.
Drake the Destroyer, and Greg the Gray. Thank you to all of our patrons. You can find a full list at changejack.com. Also, send an email to survivorjjc@gmail.com. Phone call at 385-309-0311.
Calling time.
Use our Facebook Amazon link at changejack.com/Amazon. And that'll do it for this week's Survivor with Jay, Jack, and Colleen. Sorry this was a little bit quicker. Jack needed to go in early because Chris Skypeck's a baby. We'll see you all next time. Hasta luego and goodbye.
Bye.
Everybody.